Hi there guys, I hope you have had a good day. Now Anthony Joshua seems to be getting back into training for Kubrat Pulev. He showed off some combinations that he put together, which was like an uppercut, then a hook. Now, these shots were kind of exaggerated and you would not expect to see them in a fight, obviously. I mean, I saw many comments that said this is wildly exaggerated and you could never throw these punches in the fights. Well, obviously he's not going to. It's just a drill, so ultimately these are not punches he's going to look to land on Kubrat Pulev. But there is something in there that I believe we can take from this is Anthony Joshua seems to be looking at throwing an uppercut and a hook. Now, what I believe that will do is catch Kubrat Pulev when he's coming in, because what Kubrat Pulev does often is fall over his front foot, and he does that especially when he rushes forward. Now, Pulev doesn't like to work on the inside necessarily. He also isn't really that strong when holding on the inside either, so he kind of falls in heavily when he does come forwards, and when he does that, I believe Anthony Joshua will look to throw a check hook maybe, or an uppercut, so Kubrat Pulev is walking on to that punch. And that would almost explain the kind of reaching uppercut that he throws, where he almost but doesn't come over his front foot and abandon his balance and positioning himself. So maybe he is looking to walk Kubrat Pulev onto something. Now obviously this is just a drill and a few punches that have gone out online. He's not going to give away his game plan or show us what he is going to do. But Kubrat Pulev is a fighter who kind of bounces on the spot. He paws with the jab. He does often throw a jab as well. He throws a straight right hand as well. But ultimately, Pulev, as I said, does have a kind of amateurish style, and that can be quite difficult to face in the ring. I mean, obviously, the Vladimir Klitschko performance does stand out, where he got taken apart, but Klitschko landed something significant early, and that was one standalone loss in his career, and it was because he made all of the wrong decisions, like not holding when he was hurt, standing in the center of the ring, again, when he was hurt, with his feet square. So Pulev just got caught with the same punch time and time again. He did not defend against it, and realistically, he didn't know what to do. He kind of came apart in that fight. Now, that experience will serve him well going into his next world title fight against Anthony Joshua. So Joshua cannot expect to just walk in there and blow Kubrat Pulev away. There is going to need to be a game plan, because I believe that Kubrat Pulev will represent some difficulties for Anthony Joshua, but I do believe that Anthony Joshua will beat him. But still, Pulev does have a difficult style for Anthony Joshua to overcome, maybe in the early rounds. I just believe when Anthony Joshua finds his range and starts going through the gears, that will be very difficult for Kubrat Pulev to stick with Anthony Joshua. But Kubrat Pulev, as explained by Derek Chisora, is not as easy to deal with as many believe he will be, because obviously Derek Chisora has shared 12 rounds with Kubrat Pulev, and Pulev did kind of control him in that 12-round fight. He won quite convincingly, in my opinion. Although it wasn't given that way on the scorecards, it was still a very good performance from Kubrat Pulev. Now, Derek Chisora and Anthony Joshua is a completely different prospect entirely. Chisora is a smaller fighter, whereas Joshua is the bigger fighter compared to Kubrat Pulev. And yes, size doesn't mean anything, but what Anthony Joshua can do with the physical advantages he has is administer his jab, keep that range, make sure that Kubrat Pulev is fighting at the distance he wants him to fight at. I personally believe that this fight will be very entertaining because Kubrat Pulev is obviously coming to win. This is last chance saloon for him, the last opportunity at a world title, likely in his career, given all of the mandatory opportunities going to challengers in 2021 and a potential undisputed fight. Kubrat Pulev would be years off of another world title fight after this. Can he keep going for that long? Does he have the desire to build his way back up to being a #1 challenger once again? He should have had an opportunity in 2017, but he pulled out through injury. So this is last chance for Kubrat Pulev. He is not going to let it slip through his fingers, but I just believe that levels will be shown on the night, and I don't think that Kubrat Pulev can stick with Anthony Joshua when it starts getting tough in there. I do believe that Kubrat Pulev will be more experienced, not necessarily a better fighter, because obviously he was younger when he fought Vladimir Klitschko, but he does have the experience. So I know he's going to be, 40 or whatever. That doesn't mean anything. Look what Alexander Povetkin done only a couple of weeks ago, so age doesn't really mean anything. What comes with age is experience. If Alexander Povetkin did not have that experience, he would not have been able to land that kind of punch on Dillian Whyte. So that is what happens when you do gather that kind of experience, especially in a fight for Kubrat Pulev like Vladimir Klitschko. There was a lot to be learnt and taken from that fight that he will apply in the fight with Anthony Joshua. And that is why it is extremely important that Anthony Joshua takes Kubrat Pulev seriously, and I believe he will. I don't believe that Anthony Joshua will underestimate an opponent again, like he did Andy Ruiz Jr. So guys, anyway, what are your thoughts on this? Anthony Joshua seems to be getting ready for this fight with Kubrat Pulev. December 12th, it seems like that is when it's going to be. It has not been announced yet, but I believe that announcement will come soon. Obviously, this is just a drill. It's not like Anthony Joshua doing anything. He expects to land in the fight, although I do believe it could be something that maybe he's working on. As I said, Kubrat Pulev coming over his front foot, falling in over a jab or a right hand that he misses with. There is a possibility that Anthony Joshua can get a check hook in or that uppercut as Pulev comes forward. And there is also the possibility that Anthony Joshua can work the body of Kubrat Pulev, because when Kubrat Pulev does come under fire, he lifts his hands and elbows too high, exposing his midsection, meaning Anthony Joshua can take it down to the body, maybe wear Kubrat Pulev out a bit, maybe start breaking him down. Derek Chisora did explain that he's a very difficult style to fight, very amateurish, pawing with that jab, and that sometimes can be very hard to navigate. But ultimately in this fight, I expect to see maybe 1 or 2 cagey opening rounds. I mean, Anthony Joshua isn't just going to go in there and blow Kubrat Pulev away. He's not that kind of fighter, but there will be a few cagey early rounds. Maybe even Kubrat Pulev might take a round for himself, but ultimately I think that after rounds 1, 2 and 3 go by, I think that Kubrat Pulev will start to feel the pace of the fight, and that is when Anthony Joshua can pick up the pace to a volume where Kubrat Pulev cannot follow. Now, I don't believe there will be any fans for this fight on the 12th of December. I believe it will take place at the O2, but there will not be any fans there, which, I mean, is going to be difficult for Anthony Joshua because obviously he's built his career around 80,000-90,000 fans at Wembley or the Principality Stadium, or 20,000 at Madison Square Garden, or in Saudi Arabia. So it will be kind of weird going from that, I would imagine, to no fans at all, or just 20 or 30 people in the arena when you are fighting Kubrat Pulev, hearing everything, the corner teams, the ref, all of it. We'll be able to hear everything, but ultimately I don't expect that to be a problem for Anthony Joshua. And it will be different for fans as well, seeing an event of this magnitude with no fans there. It will be different, but ultimately it's still boxing on the 12th of December, heavyweight action. The main thing is we have a boxing event coming up. I hope they do stick with this schedule, because Eddie Hearn did explain that these fights will go ahead with or without fans, because they cannot allow the careers of Anthony Joshua and others as well to stagnate during this period. So fans, no fans, December 12th, Anthony Joshua versus Kubrat Pulev. So guys, anyway, what are your thoughts on this? Make sure you leave your thoughts in the comments below, leave a thumbs up and subscribe if you are new. Thanks guys.